Recording in progress.
Good morning, dear Dharma friends. It is Sunday, January the 16th of 2022. I'm Robert Beatty. This is a broadcast of the Portland Insight Meditation Community. And we've been going on with monotonous regularity for decades, actually. Mm-hmm. These Sunday mornings for at least 10 years, I guess, online. So we gather around the teachings of the Buddha as transmitted through the Theravadan Buddhist lineages of Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Burma, Sri Lanka. It's an old teaching, 2,600 years and more, passed down from teacher to student for all these generations, maybe 140 generations of student to teacher to student, and it's a pretty remarkable thing, you know. There's a powerful written record known as the Pali Canon, which was first written down a couple or 300 years after the death of the Buddha. It's been protected and cared for, practiced. I've had a lifetime love of poetry. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't need this, right? I learned at my father's memorial service, which was now 20-some years ago, on the high side of 20, from one of his friends. He said, your father was always kind of hard on you. He was worried about you because it was so hard for him, growing up in the Depression like he did, to get his feet on the ground and then to become successful. And he was very worried that you were a poet and mountaineer and he reported to me that he had said to my father, he's got his own drummer. He will find his way, but it won't be what you think. And I look back and I think, how did little Bobby Beatty turn out to be teaching Buddhism in Portland, Oregon? It's very strange. It's very strange. So, the poetry love persists, and I have a few that I really like to share with people around the Dharma. So here's one. It's from Rumi. Keep walking, though there is no place to get to. Don't try to see through the distances. That's not for human beings. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the library and start reading. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Keep walking, though there is no place to get to. Don't try to see through the distances. That's not for human beings. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. That's quite a line. Move within, but don't move the way fear makes you move. Today, like every other day, we wake up empty and frightened. Don't open the door to the library and start reading. Take down your dulcimer. Let the beauty we love be what we do. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. There are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground. One beautiful part of the Buddhist tradition is the practice of untangling your cables. I have the privilege of being the caretaker of this beautiful guitar. Look at the back of it. Is that not something? It's quite an art piece. I won it at a concert in a raffle. The Winter Folk concert, which is coming up. I'm going to miss it. I'll be out of town. Highly recommend you look into it. Marvelous local musicians, and they raise money for an organization that gets people off the streets. The night I walked in, I was kind of depressed, actually. And I saw this guitar, and I thought, wow, that's a beautiful piece. That's a beautiful instrument. I met the man who made it. His name is Don Schulte. He lives in Vancouver. He actually came to my office twice and talked about meditation with me. But I saw it, and I said, well, I'm going to win that. And I bought 10 tickets, and lo and behold, I did. And I've enjoyed it a lot since. It's really nice knowing the person who made it. He's an interesting guy. When he works on guitars, his mind goes silent. Craftsman. So, refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I take refuge in being awake, in being present. I take refuge in what I discover when I'm present. I take refuge in impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and anatta, the great jewel at the heart of the Buddhist teachings. Look as hard as we can, as clearly as we can. We'll never find a self. But it's not that we don't find something. But we don't find, we're not limited to this frightened self. I'm thinking to speak about fear today, hence the Rumi poem. Hang on a moment. For some reason,